Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of our podcast, The Impact of Business Coaching. If you have watched any of our podcasts before, you know that we are here for one reason. We love business coaches. We love the work they're doing. We are big fans. I've had a coach my entire life, whether it was as a small child with athletics or any other activities that I did, always had a coach. And as a professional and a business owner, I have a coach as well, and believe that most, if not all, businesses should probably have a coach at some point in their life. So anyway, we're back, like I said, and we're with Simone John Giordano, and we're thrilled to have you, Simone. Happy to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me here today, Scott.
Anytime. So, Simone, if you've watched my podcast a couple times too. I loved the introduction coming from you instead of having me do it. So, if you would, please introduce yourself and give us a little background about you.
Great. Yes. Yes, I'm a lifestyle and business coach, and I work with individuals who have one or more health challenges that are impacting their business. And I'm going to walk through three quick experiences in my life that led to where I am today as being a business and lifestyle coach.
Awesome.
So in 2008, I'm sitting at my desk at my workplace, and I have a big deadline for a really important project, and my body hurt everywhere. It was a time where I could hardly keep my eyes open. I was struggling to process information, and I was trying to type, but my hands, they just wouldn't do what I was trying to get them to do. So I thought, I'll just go get a cup of coffee, just get through today, and tomorrow will be better. So I make my way out, and the coffee shop was less than a block away. But partway through, I found myself leaning against a retaining wall, cars zooming by, streets of Pittsburgh, pedestrians skirting around me. And it took all my energy to simply not collapse on the sidewalk. And that's when a couple of coworkers happened by, and they wanted to call the ambulance. Like, no, just get me back and have my husband get me. So my husband picks me up. He takes one look at me, and he's like, you need to leave this job. It's killing you. I was like, what? I can't leave. So anyhow, I turned my resignation in the next day. So that was the first experience that was very pivotal. So then I took several months to really focus on my well-being the best I knew how. And I started my own business. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and it was very flexible business around my needs at the time. So it was very adaptable. And I was doing well, and I was growing and growing. But I wanted to do better because I can do this kind of mindset, being an achiever. So I reached out to a sales trainer to take this year-long program. And he sat me down at the end of this meeting. And I can remember it like it was yesterday, this little round table, and he points to a poster on the wall with a triangle, mind, body, spirit. And he said, look, your mind and spirit are great, but until you learn how to take care of your body, your health, you're never going to achieve the success you desire. I was like, wow, I didn't expect that, because I had already shut my business down twice in the first few years. And he was telling me to shut down again. I talked with my husband and shut it down for the third and final time. And that was back in 2012. And that's when I really learned to do everything differently around my well-being, around my business, around my lifestyle. And then, so I was successful in growing that business. It was a marketing business. Fast forward to 2017, and my father was in the final months of his life, and my husband and I decided to become primary caregivers. And in doing that, that was one of the greatest gifts in my life. It was a time of great inspiration and peace. But the gift I gotten back and was the life lesson that all that matters is the impact we have and the love we share. And that's when I realized to really share my gifts in a way that's meaningful for me and a way that I feel like I can best contribute was to quit trying to hide all these health challenges, and use those experiences to serve other individuals who are experiencing challenges in managing their business. So that's
awesome.
how I became a business coach.
So I can already tell I'm going to be interested in the answer to this next question, because it obviously it's going to be very connected to what you just said. But curious, how are you doing now? Physically with your health and all that.
Really good. In fact,
That's
I
good.
just celebrated 3 years with no hospital visits,
Wow.
around lifelong, lung issues, so that's a huge, huge milestone for me. So
That's good.
excellent,
That's great.
gone are
So,
the days struggling to walk 10 feet.
gosh, that's amazing. So, why do you love business coaching so much?
I really this is across all life experiences. One of the way I enjoy life most and get the most joy is by helping others.
Mm,
It really is. And I've been there and I know how frustrating it is to want to contribute, to want to work, to want to share your gifts and to be struggling to do so.
mm, mm.
And I truly believe that the world's a greater place when we all are able to share our gifts. And there's millions of individuals struggling to do that because of health challenges. In fact,
So,
nearly 50% of us have one or more chronic health challenge.
wow. So that probably dovetails into how do you approach business coaching, but the question has a couple parts to it. Not only how do you approach business coaching, how does it work? Kind of who do you work with, and do you tend to gravitate to people and business owners who are having health challenges, that type of thing?
Yes. So I look at my coaching as two key parts, the foundation of you and the foundation of your business. And if you were to envision or draw a pyramid with four tiers, on the bottom of that, and I go back to that sales train call with him putting that triangle on the wall, which was
Yeah.
key to my outlook on life. So on the bottom is the foundation of you, your well-being, and being able to manage it and having a lifestyle that's able support you in doing that. So the second tier is that lifestyle
Mm,
and living in alignment with your beliefs and values and your capabilities and your limitations, and using that to create the third tier, which is your business, a strong business foundation that's supports sustainable growth, not like growing too fast that results in shutdowns.
mhm,
And
mhm.
at the top of that, because you have a strong foundation, is the best part, which is the ability to live with your optimal well-being, wherever that is at any time, along with the success, however you define that success. And that's really important, is helping individuals define success according to their terms versus what's popular or what's the societal norm and so forth. So really leaning into who they are at their core.
Right.
Um, and so individuals I tend to work with come from a couple different areas. A lot of times it's so easy to deny these and try to push through until we realize we just can't do it anymore. So individuals who have chronic health challenges, and it keeps kind of layering and impacting and almost getting there and realizing it's just not quite working for me. Individuals who are leaving or have left the workforce to create a lifestyle business that supports their lifestyle needs and gives them the space to focus on their well-being. And
Mhm.
then also individuals who might have a sudden onset and all of a sudden they're not able to do their work and not really sure where to go from there.
Mm. Gosh, that's powerful. So we all love stories. Any recent story or a client story that might help us kind of help you encapsulate or help the listener encapsulate how you work with business owners?
Yes, I guess I'll also add listening is absolutely key in working with a new client and really helping them uncover, what their true goals are and so forth. So a recent story is an individual who left the workplace to work on their own and in a way that supported their health. So much like I did.
Yeah.
Here's the challenge that I see that's common is as humans, we carry forward our old habits, our
Mm,
old expectations,
mm,
and that stops us from moving forward in a way that's most aligned with us. So, for example, when she was having symptoms, when she was tired, she'd try to push through. When she was having massive symptoms, she'd try to push through. And
mm.
it's because of carrying forward these old habits without exploring new options that work for you.
Right.
So what she needed to learn was really a mindset shift. And that was really, and this is hard to do at first for a lot of individuals, but accepting and embracing those limitations,
Mhm.
because that shifts everything. Because a true limitation is something that's impacting your ability to show up consistently with energy. So it's impacting your client work or your life. So once she started to embrace what her challenges were, then we were able to do three three things. And then we worked more on her business strategy. So the first thing we did was she really leaned into the fact that trying to work at her desk for 4 hours solid resulted in significant pain, related fatigue, and then poor cognitive focus that impacted her ability to work efficiently and productively, and to really show up and do well for her client work. So what we did, once you accept, I call this the power of I can't, by the way. It's ultimately, it's accepting our limitations, saying I can't do that without this consequence, so that you can find a new solution that works for you, regardless of what's the normal way. So what she did, she started alternating how she worked. Some was sitting at her desk, then out of a reclining chair, some, and then standing. And that way, when she did work, she was able to show up with greater focus, clarity, effectiveness, and productivity. The second thing we did was, this definitely goes on power I can't, looking at the symptoms, the health challenges, whether it's fatigue, pain, any variety, there's so many. What are the, sort of applying a business rule, 80-20, what are the ones that are having the biggest impact on your ability to be there for your clients and take your business where you want to take it, and make those the red flags. And when one of these symptoms begins to crop up, having a management plan in place for what you will do immediately. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's doing simpler kind of work that takes less focus, but that helps. What that does, it helps break this, what I call the cycle of setbacks, where you're able to work productively and you push beyond your limits, and then you have trouble showing up the next day, either with the same energy, the same focus, or depending on situation, sometimes at all. Some people end up in bed because they push too hard. So it's breaking that cycle of setbacks, which reduces medical expenses, increases revenue, and you're able to serve your clients better. And let's talk about confidence too. Definitely better for your confidence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then we reduced the number of hours she worked per day.
Wow.
And I see this all the time. That also supports breaking up the cycle of setbacks and showing up more consistently with energy. And as a result, being able to work more hours per week, because you're not losing that downtime. And I see that all the time. And then she offers workshops. And what we did, her plan and strategy for the workshops did not align with the lifestyle she desired at all. So in backing up and looking at that from a higher level, like to try to run a workshop every other week is very exhaustive. So we reduced the number of workshops, the frequency. She talked with her audience and increased pricing and increased the size. So she actually, by changing her strategy around offering the workshops, was able to actually exceed what her financial goals were, versus not being able to meet them.
That's awesome. That's a great story. It's good to hear people, if before you struggling, after working with you, seeing some really massive improvements.
Yeah.
And I think that's speaks loudly of the work that business coaches do. So that is awesome. Simone, what can people do to learn more? How can they get in contact with you if they feel like, yeah, you seem like the kind of person who can help them with their situation? Tell everybody where they can find you, please.
Sure. My website is SimoneG.net. And again, that's Simone, G as in George.net. And there's blogs around work, life, and well-being, and in relation to health challenges. And if someone wants to just hop on a virtual coffee chat, even to network, they can go to meetwithSimoneG.com and schedule a 20-minute coffee chat.
That's awesome. Simone, thanks for joining us. We very much appreciate you and the work that you do. And for listeners out there, if you are a fan of Simone, you love her, you want to support her, a good way to do that is to share this interview with people on your feed, so that they can get the benefit of the work that Simone's doing. And it's a warm way of sort of sharing Simone, referring Simone around, and we encourage you to do that. And Simone, we look forward to having you on our podcast again.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah.
You take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.